I'm Karen from Southern California, and I have polycystic kidney disease, or PKD as we call it. I've known about this for about the last 12 years, and only in the last 6 months did I find out that I was almost stage 5 kidney failure. So this caused me to start researching what was available for polycystic kidneys and what kind of treatment was available. And what I found out was there really, in the United States, there is no real treatment for it. You just wait until your certain blood levels get really bad, and then they finally, and you get a transplant or you go on dialysis. So, and there was no other treatment available from anywhere else. So I spent a lot of time researching that, and I finally emailed the hospital and started a dialogue with one of the marketing representatives. And I received a lot of information, but not a lot of real detailed information, but a lot of information, an estimate of what it was going to cost, what the treatment entailed, and also looking at the website. And I finally decided, I talked to family and friends, and finally decided that I really didn't have anything to lose. I didn't really feel that bad, but my numbers were very bad, and I wanted, some kind of an alternative to having dialysis or a transplant. So that's when I finally reached the decision that, okay, I'm going to go to China. The treatment lasts a month. They estimate that it will last a month. So that's how I came to this hospital. The other thing is the food situation. I was kind of led to believe that there was some sort of cafeteria here at the hospital that I could eat at, so I wasn't really planning on cooking, although they do, the rooms have cooking facilities, they have refrigerators and microwaves, but they're really expecting you then to actually cook, to go to the supermarkets and cook. Otherwise, there is some food available, but it's not really cafeteria style. There's nowhere to sit down there, and you have to basically eat in your rooms, and there's nowhere to really interact then with the other patients. So there's the whole information part. The other thing is a lot of the forms and things that we're asked to sign are all in Chinese, and we're really not knowing what we're signing. So these are kind of some of the areas that I think could be improved. The nursing treatment here is very good. The dialysis is very impressive. The dialysis room with all the various nurses and all the equipment. One of the other things is that you're basically confined to your room. And if you're not, it depends, of course, on the patient. If you're ambulatory, and I'm not on dialysis, I need to be able to get out and walk around and do, I'm used to a lot of physical activity. So it's very difficult to have to, be confined and then be able to go out, outside the grounds, and we can walk around the grounds, but usually we have to have somebody with us. And I think they have to analyze each patient's condition and kind of adjust the rules accordingly, so that we have an opportunity to get out more and do much exercise, because I think exercise and nutrition is very important for when you have kidney disease, or really any kind of hospitalization. This staying in your room, but I realize it's a hospital, so we have to, it'd be wonderful if there could be some happy balance, a balance between allowing you to do more things and getting out. So some of the things that make it, that I think that are tips for people who are coming, is that you really need to keep a good attitude all the time, no matter how frustrated you get, and you have to keep an open mind about what's happening. And I really suggest that you bring someone with you, that you don't come alone. I did have someone with me for the first 2 weeks, and that was great because it really helps to have someone else here, because you're faced with a lot of decisions. There's a language barrier that we're faced with, so it really helps to have someone here, if at all possible. I think really for the whole time. The other thing that's very important to me, and it may not be important to other people, and that is access to the internet and Wi-Fi. I would suggest to anyone to bring a computer, an iPad, something, because you need to be able to keep busy. Books, games, whatever you need, movies, whatever you need, because the TV is very limited. You're not going to be able to watch. You can watch TV, but it's mostly in Chinese, and the programs that are on are really news programs. So you really need to bring things to keep you occupied, because I think that really, really helps. And also, I would suggest bringing food from your country, wherever it may be, because the food here is Chinese, and there's no restaurants without getting into a cab that you can go, eat anything but Chinese food, which is fine, but you have to realize that's what it's going to be. Now, as far as the treatment and whether or not it has helped me, it's difficult to say right now, because there haven't been, I was tested at the beginning. You are tested with various blood tests and ultrasounds and all sorts of things, and now then you are trusting the doctor's opinions from their experience as to whether you get better. I feel fine, but I didn't really have all that many symptoms. So my symptoms, in order to determine if I'm actually getting better and how much the treatment has helped me, I need to have blood tests and ultrasounds, and that will happen probably in the next couple of days, because I'm going to be discharged in about a week, about 5 or 6 days. Well, you get to know more people, and that's the other thing. Interacting with the other patients. I mean, I was lucky there was a patient right next door, and he's happened to be alone. So we've become friends, and he's from Ohio. And then there's right next to them is another patient here with her brother, and they're from the Philippines. So we're all right next door, but we've met a lot of people here from I've met a lot of people from a lot of countries, and it's very good to have interactions with other patients, because you can share your experiences here, and talk about what's going on. I think that's very important. Communication is a major item that I think that they should work on. And giving the patients more freedom to be able to talk to each other. I didn't find any other hospitals anywhere that were doing any this type of treatment. I could not find any other information on that. I never did call them, because actually to me their websites had almost no information on it, whereas this hospital has pages and pages and pages and pages of information, which is really good. The others would just say, they would just have a paragraph, and those are places in Mexico, places in the Dominican Republic, so they're really not giving, you have to start calling them, and I didn't like what I saw, and I couldn't find any information. The other big point about finding information is that, and I forgot to say this, that at the beginning, when I first did the research, I had someone, an acquaintance of mine, who knew someone in China, in Shanghai, and she actually came to this hospital on a tour to investigate it. So she got back to me, and that was another big reason why I decided to come, because she came back with a good report. China's a very different place, and if you've never been here, and I'd never been here, it's very different. And we came right here. We didn't go to Beijing. We didn't get to see. I know. I know, we didn't get to see anything else, so it's very different here. Okay, no, yeah, the treatment, as I said, was very good. The osmotherapy is done in your room, and it is 3 times a day, but you get used to, it's you have one in the morning, one in the middle of the afternoon, one in the early evening, and so you kind of get used to the schedule. And everybody's doing it, so that's, almost everyone, I think, has the osmotherapy. Would I call it a nice experience? Well, it's been a very challenging experience, and you really have to, keep thinking about the fact that no one else is doing this, and we have no alternative. Those, especially if you have PKD. I mean, we always everyone feels fine for a long time. It depends on what age you are and when it really kicks in. And then you realize that you have no options but a transplant. Mm-hmm. So it's been a good experience. There's a big learning curve and lots of frustration, but like I say, you just have to keep going, keep a good attitude, and remember why you're here.